Saturday. I was about to sit down to do a reading when I thought about earlier today, somebody asked me how I started reading tarot. I thought that was a really fun question. Well, not a fun question, but an interesting question. And it's actually one that I get quite often. So I wanted to make a video about it because it is a little bit of a story, and I feel like there are people who ask me this so much that I can, put this out there for anybody that's interested. So it's always available on my YouTube. I guess I should start with my background. I was raised in a very strict Catholic household where we would go to church every Sunday, and I went to like Sunday school on Sundays as a kid, and as I got older I started going to like church classes on Wednesdays every week as well. And I I was very much like devoted to it. Like I would pray and I knew all my prayers, and at Sunday school I was the first kid in class whose hand was raised to answer a question because I always knew it. It was because of my dad. My dad is very, very devout. He's very traditional and Catholic, to say what he is in the nicest way. He raised me and all of my siblings very, very devout Catholic as well. I didn't really ever think much of it until I was maybe 12, 13 years old. And the first time that I really questioned everything that I had learned in church, like to the point of me not having full faith in the Catholic Church anymore, was when I was watching Bo Burnham's What? His comedy show on Netflix. And he was singing the song From God's Perspective. And it's satirical, but it made a lot of sense to me at the time. And it really opened my eyes to a lot of different ways that, to me now, I can see that the Catholic Church kind of just uses as means of manipulation and control of the public, which I don't agree with. My mom, actually, she was also raised Catholic. She went to Catholic schools, very much Catholic background coming from both sides of my family. She kind of veered away from the church after her and my dad divorced, started getting into other religions and researching other religions like Mormonism and Buddhism and paganism. And she got into tarot when I was probably a teenager, maybe a little bit younger than that, around the time maybe that I was questioning my faith and everything. But my dad had told me from a very young age that all of this stuff was evil and satanic and this and that. I obviously believed him because I believed in God and I believed in the Catholic Church and everything that he was saying to me. And now, based off of my own experience, I can see that it is a very powerful force that is inside of all of us and is also connected to everything else. And that is what works through the cards. That's what puts the cards together in the order that they need to go in order for me to pull them out in the order that I need to read them. I was always very skeptical of these things, like I said. When I was 15, 16 years old, I moved to Oregon to live with my mom, and I didn't go to church as much as I did when I was living with my dad, and I stopped going to church classes and was in a relationship when I was 17 with someone that I had known for a really long time, and our relationship was just tumultuous, to say the least, from the beginning. And we were constantly just like tripping over our own feet, and it almost felt like we were laying traps for ourselves and each other. At the end of it, so many things happened that were just so terrible and so hurtful, and we were living together at my parents' house, so it was really challenging for me to overcome. And on top of all of that, he continued to live with my parents after I was kicked out by my parents. I moved back into my parents' house after my social worker that I was working with had told me I could, because I was a minor and my parents had no legal right to kick me out of their house. So I took my parents' bedroom, and because they didn't sleep up there, so I was sleeping upstairs. It was just all sorts of issues. And I decided I would then try to find my own answers. I had lost my boyfriend, who I had been friends with him for years. I felt very close to him, and I felt like I could be myself with him, and then I felt rejected whenever I was myself. Multiple friends because of that breakup, and they all became friends with him instead. My relationship with my parents was all fucked up at that point because like they had kicked me out, and like a million other things that had happened between us in our relationship before that point. Don't worry, I'm getting to the tarot part. It felt like I had nobody. If I'm being completely honest, it was the lowest point in my entire life. It really felt like there was nothing left for me. I didn't know where to turn, and something in my brain just told me, go get one of my mom's tarot decks and just look at it, check it out, and see what happens. I don't have to do a reading, but just look at it. So I went downstairs and I looked on the bookshelf and I grabbed one of her many decks. It was a little Rider-Waite deck, a mini Rider-Waite deck. I went upstairs back into my room and I sat there and I opened up the deck and I looked at all the cards, and I looked through the little booklet and I read the card descriptions, and I looked in the back of the booklet and it had the Celtic Cross tarot spread, which is a 10-card spread. And it's very detailed, complex, and in depth. And that was what I started out on. I shuffled it like it told me to shuffle it, and then I cut the deck and I pulled 10 cards. It laid out everything that was going on in my life to a T. I didn't know how to react, but I had felt something for the first time in months. That reading was so in sync with what was happening in my life that I kept going, and I kept reading through the cards. Just from the beginning, it was like it was already telling me, based off of like the first 2-3 cards, I was like, wow, this is incredible. And then I got to the very last card, and the 10th card is the culmination of all of the influences in the cards before it. It is basically a card of like future events, what's going to happen. I don't remember what card it was. I wish I could find it again. I wish I took a picture of the spread or something. But it said accident, tragedy, threat of danger, injury, serious injury, and to like use caution. I was scared, I didn't know what to think or what to expect. The very next day after I did that reading, I was on Twitter and I saw the girl my ex-boyfriend had cheated on me with got into a car accident and broke her neck. I was immediately shaken to my core. I didn't know how it was possible at the time that my tarot reading could have in any way predicted something like that happening. Some people might say that there's no correlation there, that it's just a matter of coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences. So that's the difference between you and me. I definitely believe that things happen for a reason, and I believe that tarot came to me for a reason in that moment. I believe that it also taught me a valuable lesson, that there are certain things I don't need to know about what's going on in the world. That information that I received in that reading wasn't necessary for me to know. It was to solidify my belief in that reading. It proved to me that I don't need to read for myself. And that has been proven to me over and over and over again. I've had other tarot readers, psychics that have been doing this for decades tell me that I need to stop reading my own cards. So I only do it if I really feel like I need to. And generally, I'm doing it about a situation that I'm in, not about myself. So if I want a reading about myself or something that's going on internally, I will reach out to another reader because I want an unbiased opinion, somebody that's going to tell me something that maybe I don't want to hear. They're going to tell me the truth, basically. I don't want to lie to myself about the reading that I'm getting, or if I don't like the reading, reshuffle and do it again. I want the person that's reading me to have the confidence that I have in my readings when I'm doing them for other people. I know that what I'm meant to do is read tarot for other people. And that is something that's very exciting for me, to be a psychic and to have a tool that really works for me, to be able to go within myself and expand that knowledge and that ability is a huge blessing. And I feel super excited to share it with the world. That's my story about how I started reading tarot. I hope it wasn't too long, and I hope I didn't bore the fuck out of you guys. But if you guys have any questions or you want me to do another video like this, let me know, and I would be happy to tell you more. Follow me on Twitter. I'm doing daily energy readings for the Divine Feminine, the Divine Masculine, and the Divine Universal energies, and each of those come with intuitive messages. Those are on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and lmao, Pagans and Witches, if you're on that. If there's anything I'm forgetting, it's gonna be in the description or somewhere else. Yeah, have a good day.